Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. If we haven't met yet, my name is Sachi. I help you get into CRNA school. I create actually helpful tools and resources to help streamline your application process and make it a whole lot less stressful. So welcome. And I always come bearing gifts. So if you haven't already checked out our website, it's thecrnaclub.com. And if you do /resources, I have a whole bunch of free downloads there for you. I have a science class built with a bunch of science classes that students have retaken over again and have vetted. We have a free 30-minute masterclass, Becoming a Competitive Applicant. That is such a great place to start. We also have an AANA state meeting calendar. So many good things there. Go grab all of those free resources to help you along your journey. So previously we have talked about your GPA, and I could just feel the stress coming through the interwebs. And I get it. GPA is a sensitive topic, but your GPA does not define you. It doesn't say how good or bad of a nurse you are. It doesn't say whether or not you'd be a good CRNA. But however, it does give schools some insight into how successful they think you are going to be in the CRNA program. So if you are one of the applicants who are struggling with a lower GPA, first of all, I want you to know that you're not alone. There are lots of people who are in your same position. You are not the same applicant that you were when you were 20 years old. You're not the same student that you were when you were 20 years old, partying in undergrad, right? Or maybe you were previously an engineering major or a different, maybe a veterinarian major, and you switched to nursing and you got it together and you realized this is what you actually wanted to do, and you did so much better. So who you were 10 years ago, you might be a different person, and that is what you want to focus on showing the admissions committee, that you are not that same person. So how do you do that? You take classes over, you take graduate level courses, you show them that you can take standardized tests like your certification or the GRE. So I'm diving into it a little prematurely, but today I want to talk about 5 things that you can do, that you can showcase if you are one of those people who has a lower GPA. And I also want to see if we can uncover your application blind spot. So I want you to take a step back, look at your application in your mind and say, can I check all these 5 boxes? If I were to put this all out on paper, can I successfully say that I'm showcasing all of these things? All right, let's dive into number 1. First thing you want to be able to showcase, or the first blind spot you want to look out for, is your educational ability or lack thereof. Are you able to say that you can say confidently, yes, Sachi, I believe that the admissions committee, cross my heart, would look at my application, my transcripts, the courses I've taken over again, and without a doubt say, yes, I believe that Sarah can succeed at the graduate level. I took a look at her science classes. She got A's in those. Oh, maybe she didn't. Maybe she got a lot of B's in her science classes, but that was like 8 years ago. And over the last year, she's taken 2 graduate level science courses over again. You know what? That makes me feel a lot better. I think she's going to do well in CRNA school. I want you to look at your application and say, am I showcasing my educational abilities to succeed in a doctorate level program? So how do we do that? I mentioned it a little bit earlier in the intro, taking graduate level courses, taking science classes over, taking those certifications, taking standardized tests, and even doing well on your GRE. All right. Number 2, are you showcasing your critical care experience? Are you telling them that, yes, my acuity on my unit is high enough, that I am meeting that Council of Accreditation's definition of critical care, that I am taking care of patients with mechanical ventilation, on multiple vasoactive infusions, that have life-saving devices, that are sick, that have multiple pathophysiologies going on? Can I say that, yes, my acuity is high acuity and I'm getting that good ICU experience? Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, is this a blind spot for you? Your leadership skills. Okay, and I wanted to clarify something quickly here. So when people talk about being on committees and they're like, oh, I hear you need to join committees to get into CRNA school. Let's back up a couple steps. Why are you joining committees? Why is that? Well, it's because you're trying to showcase that you are an overachiever. You go above and beyond. You have leadership skills to be on this committee that's like leading on your unit, some initiative, or even a hospital-wide committee, even better. You are trying to showcase your leadership skills, right? So, and then now, why are you trying to showcase your leadership skills, okay? Why is that important to CRNA programs that you're a leader? Well, let's think about this, right? So if you know anything about CRNAs, the political side of it, you know that we are constantly advocating to increase our independence, remove supervision and medical direction. We are trying to practice to the full scope of our ability, and we want all states to become become opt-out states, right? So we want people to get into CRNA programs that are leaders, okay? So that is the heart behind why you are trying to showcase these leadership skills. There are other ways besides joining committees to showcase your leadership skills. Just remember that. All right, the fourth blind spot point you should be looking out for is your professional involvement. Are you involved in your nursing organizations? Are you involved in your unit professionally, right? So what does that look like? Yes, it looks like committees, but it also looks like being a part of your nursing organizations, your American Nurses Associations, the AACN. Are you part of your local AACN chapter? This goes along with the point that I was previously making is we want people in the CRNA profession who are going to be involved, advocate, right? So if you're going to be saying, hey, I'm going to be super involved in the AANA, I'm going to be advocating, I'm going to be up on Capitol Hill, and you're not involved in any of your own nursing organizations, well, low-key, that's kind of a disconnect there, right? It kind of feels a little far-fetched. So please make sure you're involved in your professional organizations because that'll align very nicely when you start to talk about in your resume or your essay and your interview that you would like to be involved in the AANA in the future. All right, the last application blind spot to look out for, or an area that you can boost if you have a lower GPA, is your community involvement, right? We want people who are going to give back. We want genuinely good humans to become CRNAs. We want to represent our profession well. So if you have volunteer experience or you've gone on medical missions, any volunteering, be sure you include that on your resume as well. If you're not giving back, if you're not involved in the community somehow, that is an area that you can boost up to sort of set yourself apart. So if you kind of look at all of these 5 different categories or aspects, your educational abilities, your critical care experience, your leadership abilities, your professional involvement, and your community involvement, is there any one of those that kind of ring out and say, you know what, I think I can probably boost my application in this area? If somebody says your name, are they immediately thinking, oh yeah, Jessica would do that. She's such a go-getter. Oh yeah, that makes sense that she would join that committee. She's always trying to make our unit better. Those are the kind of people that we want to become CRNAs, right? We want you to be leading initiatives. We want you to be doing the most. So overall, think about these different 5 categories I've talked about. Have a hard, honest look at your application and say, are there any spots that I'm missing here? Okay, and take some time to beef those up. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. I will see you on the next one.